Well, hey folks, I want to welcome everybody back to the channel where it really is all about racing and racing cars. You guys are going to be watching this video on Wednesday, June 18, the day that I will be heading up to the 6 hours at the Glen, or the race at Watkins Glen, part of the IMSA series. So you will be watching my paddock tour the day after this is aired. Now, this was recorded about a week earlier. And guys, this is a really unique BMW Z4 GT3 car. One of only two that I have in my collection. I absolutely love these cars. You just can't find many of them. And I'm going to tell you the story about it and why. Guys, I got a deal on this car. I purchased it from a Chinese a seller who generally sells cars that there's some defect with, either the box, the packaging, it's opened, or it's been resold. In this case, the reason I got this cheap, and you'll see this big, huge slash across the top of the acrylic jewel cover, I got this for about 60 bucks, including shipping, which is a really good deal on a 143 scale Spark car. Now, this I think is really unique. I absolutely love the packaging on it. This is a car that competed in the Macau GT Cup back in 2014, and it basically has the flags of all these various nations, most of them Asian, that compete in this particular race. I'm sure many of you have watched these on TV. I know I do every single year. And it's, being a Spark car, it's open on both ends, as you can see here. It's also a limited edition car. One thing I like about these, they only made about 500 of them. And the back of it's just really cool like that, which I just think that is so neat. And you can see kind of Spark Asia. So I wonder if this was an Asian release and the packaging reflects that. If any of you know or confirm that, let me know. And the bottom of it looks like such. Now, the only other car I have, I've previously reviewed this. This was the Walking Horse car, one of my absolute favorite cars, period. And that's just two, and these are both GT3 versions, which we'll talk about. I do not currently have a GTE version in my collection, or a GTLM. They're very similar. So I'm still on the search for those. Okay, here's what I have on this car. The BMW Z4 GT3, in my opinion, the best looking BMW sports car ever, was a racing car competing globally in the ALMS, the ELMS, and the Tudor United Sports Car Championship. It competed only from 2013 to 2015. That's just 3 years, guys. Way too short in my opinion, and it was replaced by the M6 GTLM in 2016. Now, the construction of this car was really interesting. The chassis was a unitary construction steel body with a welded safety sill. The suspension McPherson axle with push rods, wishbone, and adjustable shock absorbers. The engine, here's where it's a mouthful. A BMW, imagine that, a manufacturer actually producing their own engine to race. P65, B44, 4.36 liter V8, 90 degrees cylinder angle, DOHC, 4 valves per cylinder, naturally aspirated front engine, longitudinally mounted. I got to take a breath here for a moment. It had a power output of approximately 480 horsepower or 350 kilowatts at 7,000 RPMs. Now, the transmission was a Hewland X-Track 6-speed semi-automatic. Now, here's where things get really, really interesting. The Z4 GT3 shares many components with the Z4 GTE works car, the ones you and I have seen racing in the IMSA series and overseas, with power and aerodynamics that are much more different. Now, here's what really surprised me. You would think the GTE car, being the factory cars that competed, would be much more powerful, and they were. But believe it or not, the GT3 car, the one that you're looking at, has a much more sophisticated aero setup than the GTE version, including a set of dive planes on the nose. And you can see that right there. A double-deck rear wing. And there's a look at that. You'll see that extra, double-deck. Think of a World War I biplane. Think of it like that. That second deck is right there where I'm pointing to. That's where the second deck is. It is very, very small, but it is, and there again, you might see it a little bit clearer, but it's there. And this is what really shocked me. They say that the rear diffuser was much more aggressive. Now, as far as the Macau GT Cup, as you know, this is an annual motorsport event. There's a number of different races from motorcycles, open wheel to race cars. Usually it runs from a Thursday through Saturday and Sunday. And it's held on the, I don't know how to pronounce this, the Guia, Guia circuit in Macau, China. Now, the driver of this car, hold your breath, was Marco Wittmann. He's one of my favorites. A German BMW works driver, most famous for his 2014 and 2016 DTM championship. I know a lot of you guys, particularly you Brits, really like the championship held at that time. And I've actually got one of his cars. In fact, I may review it next. I have one of his BMWs from that time period as well. Now, unfortunately, and we'll turn this car back around, he only placed 7th in the Macau GT Cup race. You know, I love watching that race because you have so many good European drivers that compete in it against Asian drivers. And it usually makes for a really interesting race, with the European drivers winning almost every single time. The Asian guys never seem to stand a chance. But that's understandable because most of the drivers that compete in it are work drivers. And if you guys take a look at this from this angle, I think you might be able to see that that double-decker rear wing I was talking about. If you take a look where I'm pointing my my brush, you can see that second wing right under the first. Anyhow, let's get a closer look at this car, and we'll start from the front. Now, in addition to a cool-looking car, I just love this livery. I think it is really neat. Our Rstrada Racing, the racing team, I could find absolutely nothing about anywhere. I mean, anywhere. But this is your usual Spark car, you know, the excellence you would expect. You've got the carbon fiber trim on the dive planes we talked about, the splitter. You've got great jobs on all the separate parts of the grills, the headlights, the BMW logo. I just like the BMW logo. Anybody know what that stands for? It's Bavarian Motor Works, and it's basically the propeller of an airplane that you're seeing. They manufacture a lot of planes for the Nazi regime during World War II. And as we pull back here, you'll see a lot of nice detail, particularly in the cockpit. You see the number 92 Macau GT Cup on the window banner. Now, the tires are a bit new to me. Yokohama Advan, I'm not really familiar with them. But look at those beautiful wheels. Look at the slotted rotors that you have. See the caliper. You've got the big single lug wheel nut. Really, really cool. You see Marco Wittmann's name clearly on the above the door. The interior, it really has great detail. And if you watch anybody's videos, they'll always tell you these cars have really good detail, whether they're 143 or 118. You just can't see it through the lens of a camera or whatever else you may be using to film these videos. I think the livery is rather unique. It's odd. It's a very, very busy car with tons of sponsors. Really, really different. Just one big old area. Remember, this is a really short race. It's held in downtown Macau. So and it's a relatively short race. There's a lot of practice going into it, and there's a lot of wrecks. So if you survive, that is a good thing. And again, looking at it from this angle, you can clearly see that double-decker rear wing we talked about. Now, I've talked about this, and I'll say it again. One thing I like about Spark cars, particularly those that are not, and I repeat, are not part of the Le Mans collection, are the limited quantities that they make of them. They only made 500 of this particular car. So think about that. All around the world, if you have this particular car, there are only 499 people that have the others. And I bought this one brand new, and it's an old car, which means it's been sitting around for some time. Don't ask me why. Again, I mentioned I got this from a Chinese dealer. He probably had it on display. We had that cracked case that we talked about. But here's a really cool look at the back of the car. It is absolutely beautiful, really nicely done. I'm going to pull this back, and you can look under the rear wing, because a lot of times there's something under the rear wing. And there you see BMW power there. I think that's just really cool. I love the little touches. And because it's a front engine car, if you look into the rear of it, you're going to see all the bodywork panels and things like that they have there. A really nicely done carbon fiber rear wing, that double-decker rear wing that we talked about. And there, folks, is a look from the passenger side to the front. And with all Spark cars, of course, you can see, Marco Whitman's name on it. Really cool car. I have thoroughly enjoyed picking this one up. And guys, there's a look at it from the top on down. I'm just going to maneuver this thing. Very, very cool. I really like this car. Hope you have enjoyed this video, because with this, guys, I'm done. Thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow. If you're watching this on Wednesday the 18th, I will see you at Watkins Glen with my paddock review on Thursday the 19th. Take care.